Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to episode 207 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. I'll be your host this evening, and I'm joined by Mando back from his odyssey on the road.
Oh yeah, man. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be home. It's been a long month.
Yeah, and Jody's been single parenting it while his kids are off winning all kinds of awards.
Man, those girls are coming home with championship belts. Like they're gonna have a trophy room for these girls.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They Grayson Webster won 5 gold medals and 1 bronze. I know Elise won a bunch. Let's see, Elise won. I'm looking up on their Facebook, 5 gold medals and 2 silvers.
And walking around some championship belts, man. Like that's just pretty badass.
Yeah, they don't just give out medals; they give out belts too. Like this is world champions in England, I believe. So Jody, he's got his hands full.
Hey man, like that's a safe house to walk around in. And so
Don't mess with the Webster kids.
Yeah, exactly. So congrats to them though, man. That's a pretty awesome accomplishment. It's like no matter what you're doing, be it croquet, foreshadowing, or whatever, to be at that level, it's not easy to be there. It's got to be a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work.
For sure. All right. Before we dive into this, this will come out probably actually the day after the Demon Night screening. I want to thank everyone who came. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of people again. And this is recording this in the past, talking in the future. So I'm looking forward to a very exciting event. And hopefully I'll be able to capture footage of the Q&A, which will be up shortly after this episode comes out. So go look for the Q&A special. At least do it on YouTube. We'll see how it sounds if I put it on the regular podcast feed. But again, you can also look on our Patreon for extra mini reviews of Weapons, Companion, Strange Darling, and throughout October we're putting out reviews of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes, the early ones. Before they kind of ran out of ideas and movies to talk about.
They've done a couple in the last few years that were pretty inventive. Like I can't remember what year it was, but they've done a handful over the later years that were fun.
Yeah, they've done a couple of good Simpsons episodes last year or so.
Yeah.
I'm kind of slowly getting back in.
I think the hard part, it's really hard to recapture that charm. And I know you're probably the same I am, but I have a lot of nostalgia for those early Treehouse of Horrors, just because that was kind of one of the fun things growing up when we had, when everything wasn't streaming. Was that the Halloween episodes would come out around Halloween, and that was a cool time to watch your favorite shows and get those little Halloween episodes in. And they're still doing it on TV. Just I don't think it's as prominent as it used to be. Like I remember a few years back, the Goldbergs did a one with Freddy Krueger. With actually Robert Englund reprising his role, probably the best version of Freddy we've had since the original movies. Just saying. But back then, man, it was a lot of fun to get excited for Treehouse of Horror. It's kind of an event, and then we all talk about it at the school on Monday.
Yeah, we would make VHS tapes and pass them around. Yeah. All right. Well, Mando, you returned at an excellent time in our Sleepaway Camp reviews.
I seriously debated just quitting the show. I'm like, this is.
I debated not even covering this movie because I remember hating it so much when we first watched it. We're talking about the 4th movie in the Sleepaway Camp franchise, and not the last, apparently, because we talked a little bit about this last week, but we're getting a new one. From writer-director Robert Hiltzik, who did this movie, returned to Sleepaway Camp. I'm interested. I'll always want more, but this reminds me of how bad it all went a long time ago. So
I'm sure Mr. Hiltzik is a very nice guy. I'm sure he's a really great dude. But this is, I think he did the original. And then he did this one, right? Return to Sleepaway Camp. And every 20 years, like he's putting out one of these movies, and it degraded drastically in quality. And I shudder to think what's going to happen. I'll watch it. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. I'm a horror geek. And I hope it's solid. but he really needs to go back and capture some of the charm the original had. We'll get into it, but this one just tried so hard and it fell flat on his face.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since Jody's not here, Mondo, give us give us the overall plot. We're not going to go beat by beat on this
So
one.
we are shocker. We're at a camp.
Sleepaway Camp, yes.
A sleepaway camp. The camp from the original. This is kind of I was reading that they just ignored the events of 2 and 3. So this is kind of a direct sequel to the original. And you have your main character in this is really Alan, who is my wife kept comparing him to Private Pile because we just watched Full Metal Jacket the other day. But Private Pile was like a character that was bullied into his existence, and was like, when you watch Full Metal Jacket, you don't think Private Pile is a bad guy at his heart. You feel like a guy who's being mentally broken down and being decimated by this system. And this one, you have Alan who's being bullied, but he's also just a terrible human being.
He's also a bully himself.
Yeah, he bullies other people, then he gets bullied, then he gets mad. Like, don't get me wrong, there's if you really want to psychoanalyze this, there's a lot of stuff going on in this kid's life. His only refuge are the frog friends he keep, which is kind of endearing. And I think one of the problems is they keep giving him some endearing qualities here and there, but then just turn it around and make him like this reprehensible douchebag.
Right.
And he's being bullied, not just by the campers, but the camp counselors are also bullying him. The worst camp counselors ever.
Again, this is the movie, so the writer has the authority or the ability to give him something a little bit more redeemable, or something to make him like somewhat likable. And like every time we think we might start to, they like bring us back down. And I'm not saying like a character deserves to be bullied, but like, they just lean into him so hard.
No, we'll get into it, but going through the movie, just very briefly.
Yeah.
So he's getting bullied, and one by one, you start seeing these people who are bullying him suddenly start to die. And they really, spoiler right now, I'm just gonna spoiler for everybody. Don't watch this movie. So I'm just gonna spoil it for you. Don't go through it.
If you're a completionist, if you're a completionist, fine, but yeah.
Don't go out of your way to see this. If you're on the fence, let me push you on the right side of the fence, which is to not watch this. And right away, you're introduced to a police character who is obviously Felicia Rose with a fake nose and beard and a hat with fake wig. It's blatantly obvious that this is Angela. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. So right away.
In the voice box and like changer thing.
Yeah, from talking about the dangers of smoking. That's why they had the voice changer box. Anyhow, so these counselors and these kids start dying one by one, and some of the kills are inventive, albeit silly. But the CGI then is just bad on a lot of these kills. And then we move forward, and they constantly are planting in your head that it's either Alan or his brother Michael, causing all these. Ricky, I can't even remember. I remember Alan's name. But his brother basically like beats him up with a croquet mallet, and no, Michael's his brother. And
Michael's the brother. I'm saying it's Angela's, because they talk about Angela, and then like they say like we should go check on her brother Ricky to see if he knows where she is, and
who happens to be working also at the camp.
Well, he's working no, he's working nearby at like a truck, like some sort of construction site.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He's got like the ripped sleeves,
and they immediately plant in your head, is this could be Angela doing it, but they're also trying to act like it's not. So anyhow, as a bunch of deaths happen, a bunch of teens as being the most horrible people on the planet Earth, and then we get to the finale where it is revealed that the cop is Angela the whole time, dressed completely different than they were 20 seconds prior. And then we get an after credit scene of Angela just randomly killing a police officer for no discernible reason, which kind of goes against her character, but that's okay, I guess.
I think the point is that that's a flashback to like how she got the cop car and stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't put 2 and 2 together because at this point I checked out of everything.
Yeah, no, at that point, no one's really paying much attention.
So there's a lot that goes on in this movie, and it really it stands in the way of itself, in my opinion. But Jason, I'll let you take it away, and you get to go first this week.
Yay! Yeah, I remember, I've been a Sleepaway Camp fan since, mid 90s. So when this movie, what kind of was, they were talking, this movie was made sometime in the early 2000s. I can't even figure out when, but not released until 2008. So I was like really
So
champing at the bit.
I read about this part. So it was filmed in 2003, and it was going to be a
Mhm.
theatrical release. And basically, the studio's like, yeah, we're not releasing this. The CGI is just too bad. We can't release
Yeah.
this. So they fixed the CGI, which I shudder to think what it looked like before
Oof.
this. And then they released it in 2008. I don't think it got a theatrical release though in
No,
2008.
maybe like a theatrical premiere or something like that. But either
Yeah.
way, and I was so disappointed by this movie. Just like acted, and I've never watched it since. I've like have a visceral reaction because I love the first three movies, all for different reasons. I think
It's
they're
been
all
so
great.
long since I've seen two or three, but I remember them being at least fun.
Yeah, totally. So I was and I was like, but I was like, for the sake of the podcast, for the sake of being completionist, I'm like, I'll watch this. But rarely do I put off watching a movie for the podcast. I usually watch it at least the night before at the latest. I watched this like 2 hours before we recorded because I was like, oh man. And then you guys are bashing the movie on the Slack. I'm like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. And pretty much it wasn't the worst time I've ever had watching a movie, but yeah, pretty much everything I remember about just being awful. It's what Alan is just one of the worst characters of all time, especially when he's set up to be the quote protagonist. Quotes. I don't know
That's
who
the
the
thing.
protagonist of the movie is.
There was realistically there was one girl in this who seemed to be
Mhm,
trying to always play peacekeeper and mediator, and
mhm.
they didn't really give her much of a role, but that was her only role. And I'm like, she is the only redeeming character in this entire movie.
Mhm. Definitely. Yeah, the kills are okay. There's definitely not nearly enough of them. There isn't a kill in like in the first 25 minutes. It doesn't start with a kill or anything. It just goes straight into camp. And yeah, the cop thing. I know they're trying to make a riff on the cop in the original with the fake mustache and make us think that like they're
Yeah.
leaning ultra hard into that. But I'm like, it's just not working. And
And I
also
don't
like,
think that's a big deal because I don't think it. I think you see the twist coming from a million miles away. Like even if the
mhm,
cop wasn't there, I don't think it would have been a shock ending at all.
right.
But it does just.
You know,
Like you said, I think it was done for kind of the humor aspect of it, but I think it just
mhm.
doesn't work.
Well, I think the biggest travesty of that is that it denies us actual Felissa Rose. Like, I would love to have unhinged Felissa Rose throughout this entire movie.
That would have made it so
Kind
much
of
better.
that would made it so much better. But the fact that they kind of like sidelined her and made her this like random cop character, all for the sake of this twist. They could have had Felissa Rose as Angela, just like running around and like having her disappear. Then the cop shows up and like, oh, where'd Angela go? The cop's like, I don't know, I'm here. It, that would make the movie at least more interesting, more entertaining, and only to
Well,
have like fully unhinged Felissa for like 30 seconds at the end of the movie.
and I think that would have given you you could have then kind of based the characters around they know that kind of
Mhm.
Angela's doing this, and now they're banding together for survival. And I think you'd actually then have somebody maybe to get behind, because that's also the hard part of a movie like this when there's no character that you want to get behind and root for.
Exactly.
There's no so like and I know Friday the 13th gets that rap sometimes because it's almost like you're rooting for Jason Voorhees, but you're rooting for somebody at least. And maybe you are rooting for Angela to kill these terrible kids, but at least then you have someone you're getting behind, and that would have made it so much more fun.
Yeah, you need a character anchor, and there just isn't really one in this movie. Like you said, the gore effects are actually pretty good for when it happens. We have the fryer cook, getting his face pushed in the fryer. We have at the very end we get the guy being skinned alive, and
Because he skinned the frogs.
because he skinned the frogs, which I don't know if those are real frogs or whatnot. Because that was
No,
pretty,
definitely. Man, I hope they're not real. And that guy got what
yeah,
he deserved. I'm just saying.
yeah, for sure. I do like the fact that like you could see he was still alive, and there's also another one where a woman like drives into a barbed wire thing and gets barbed wire all over her
Okay,
face. You can
that
see she's
scene.
still. I mean, yeah, it's doesn't make sense per se,
Well,
but the fact that
I
she's
hate.
still alive afterwards is okay, a little unsettling.
I hated it for many reasons.
Yeah,
One being with a Jeep like that, you wouldn't lower the windshield if you're driving through the forest.
yeah,
Like, do you want to get bugs in your mouth or not? And two, when she puts it in when she rips the guy's dick off and she puts it in 4-wheel drive, if that's an older Jeep, which it looked like is an older Jeep, you actually have to get out and lock the hubcaps in place to put it in 4-wheel drive. I don't know why that bugged me. 3, she saw the barbed wire coming.
Yeah, she kept driving.
Like, and she just kept driving into it while she was screaming, as opposed to maybe, I don't know, ducking.
Right. And yeah, and that sequence was just so poorly edited. Like there was no suspense. Like it should be this like big suspenseful sequence where this guy has a wire wrapped around his penis and this woman's attached to, and it's attached to this woman's car. She's driving away. But the way it's edited is just not done with any flair or any suspense.
I don't know if you noticed in the opening credits, which are also all-time terrible opening credits, and all-time terrible song over the opening credits. Like literally, yeah, the song is terrible, and then like they're using like the early 90s music video WWF shaky cam, so the credits suck. But when it said edited by, I don't know if you've noticed, but edited by was in quotation marks.
Oh,
almost like it's saying edited by, maybe
question mark. Maybe this is edited, maybe not.
Maybe we edited it.
Yeah, that song at the beginning was just like blatant Limp Bizkit AI. If AI had existed at that time and you fit it Limp Bizkit, that this is the song we would have come up with.
We need a quick pause for anybody watching on YouTube right now. If you're not, you should. But Jason, you have a little friend there.
Yeah, he's being a bit of a pain, so we put him in the room with me. Chug. He's trying to chew on all the things today. I don't know what's going on.
And you're not going to show the puppy to the camera, really?
Oh. There we go.
Oh,
here, I'll switch. I'll switch positions.
He gave you a dirty look. He's like, "Dad."
I know.
Like,
he didn't being annoying today.
He didn't put his face on.
But and I will say, I am. Limp Bizkit is a guilty pleasure of mine. Like the early mid 90s Limp Bizkit. Again, I was in high school. You know, it's just kind of like sticks in your brain, like when you're in high school, or some things that are objectively terrible music just kind of sticks with you because that's just where your brain's at the time.
It's kind of funny how back then, if you're wearing a red cap, people thought you're a douchebag, and nowadays, if you're wearing a red cap, most people think you're a douchebag.
Also, you know, again, this is early 2000s. This was like one of the peak like bully times. I think we're kind of back in that cycle, but like bullying back then was like peak. It was very prevalent.
I didn't bully anybody or get bullied, thankfully. But I know what you mean, though. There's
this early 2000s weren't the time for the nicest kids in the world.
No, and but that's the other problem with this is like even when the camp counselors are getting in on the bullying, and it's hard because I'm watching it. I'm like, the guy that runs this camp is seeing his counselors bully these kids, and he's just like, whatever. That's what's supposed to happen, and that kind of took me out of it too, because it's usually even in like the Friday the 13th movies, for instance, you have the counselors kind of bullying each other, but they're never bullying the kids, and that bothered me. Plus, some of these kids definitely had driver's licenses and maybe paid taxes.
Right. Well, it's usually like maybe one bully counselor, then one nice counselor to balance it out.
Yeah.
It's not just like everyone's a piece of shit. Also, like, do phones not exist at this camp? They're like, oh, this kid's grounded, so he's like restricted to his cabin. Like, you're not calling this kid's parents?
Well, I could see that if it's something, I don't know. Jody would have been nice to be on because Jody, I think, was a camp counselor, and I thought you were too. Okay, but did you? So
actually, in the 2000s, I was a camp counselor. So yeah, we would sent that kid packing immediately.
So you'd have called the parents. You wouldn't have just said, "I will deal with it," even if it was just a minor infraction.
Okay, which infraction are we talking about?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know which one they grounded them for.
I'm just saying, like making. Well, there's the one where like they strip him of his clothes on the stage.
Oh yeah,
in front of everybody.
So that was a weird one because they're in a cabin and now they're on stage. Like I didn't quite understand if I just missed something completely.
The editing in this is all weird. You can't tell where anyone is. Yeah, it's.
And I feel like if I found the cook dead with his face melted off, I might call some parents.
Well, supposedly they threw the cook out, and so he just went missing.
Oh, that's right. I still think I'd probably launch an investigation and maybe call some parents.
Yeah, no, the fact that they're like, there's this level of bullying going on, and obvious drug use and everything, like they're not calling anyone's parents or anything, is just really bizarre.
like
Again,
Jason, if
it's a
you're
movie, so if they call the parents, and I'm not saying like you can't make that work from a plot level, but you have to at least acknowledge it.
yeah, you can call the parents and then be like, they're on vacation in Switzerland and they're not going to come pick their kid up.
Yeah, well, they're on their way or something like that. But they're
Yeah,
it takes them a while.
or just a throwaway line in that we called his parents, they're not answering the phone. Like just a throw. Give me something. Come on. But I don't know. That didn't bother me though, because I'd never done summer camp, so I figured that like they just didn't want to bother the parents because then it shows they're incompetent. But I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the camp how much they actually care. But like usually that means that like if a kid's being treated that bad, he can tell his parents, which are gonna so it's gonna balance out. But yeah, again, what I like about these movies, at least what I like about the first one, is how realistic it is as far as being a camp movie. And kind of each subsequent Sleepaway Camp movie gets further and further away from that realism that I appreciate in the first one.
The first one too really has a kind of a dark sense of humor to it.
Mm-hmm.
And but it works. It feels very organic. And yeah, sure, there's like the original feels like it's the bullying in the original. It's like kids shenanigans.
Right.
This one, just everything feels so mean spirited, and Alan is legit one of the most Alan is the Franklin of this movie. It's like when you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Franklin gets butchered, you're not even sad. You're just like, oh, good. And in this one, I was like, when is Alan gonna die? Like the first thing Kel said after maybe 5 minutes into this movie, she goes, I hope he's not in the whole movie. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure he is. So
he is the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the whole suck my ass line, like, oh God.
Dude, it's yeah, man. Like, can that guy get a clean shirt? Like, did he not bring clothes with him to summer camp? I don't know.
Like, again, they could just tone it down slightly and I would have a lot more sympathy with him. Because there's definitely kids that are socially awkward who get bullied and then they kind of act out a little bit. But like, not to that. But they're not like it's just everything's dialed up to like such extreme.
Again, you've seen definitely the characters where they're bullied and they lash out a little bit at other people, but in those, when they're doing those kind of characters, they really hammer home that they're lashing out because that's their release that's their only way to showcase their emotions. Where in this one, Alan, like, they start the movie off with Alan being a bully.
Yeah.
So you never even get you don't get that. Like, if they'd have started out with him being bullied, I think maybe that would have hit a little bit differently, because then you wouldn't hate him before. Like, once you start seeing him get bullied, you don't feel bad for him because you see how bad of a person he is.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to give us some amount of sympathy. I'm okay. There's a way to do that with some level of nuance that would get us on his side, but I'm never on his side.
No,
like I feel bad that he's being bullied, but they never make him at all likable to any degree.
And they start calling him blowjob because of the dog shit joint they make him smoke. And then the fucking counselors are just calling him that too.
Yeah.
Like the movie would have been better if he'd have called home and the parents would have come down and just picked him up and be like, this is bullshit. We're suing you guys.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's a way to make that a more interesting, nuanced character if you really wanted to put the work in it. But this is not the movie that wants to put that kind of effort.
In no offense to the writer director, but he seems like a guy that was very much rooted in the 80s, and he's just trying to say, well, what would kids in 2003 do? And it doesn't land. It's not the same.
No. I'm glad they got the guy who played Ronnie back, and they got Ricky to do a couple scenes. So like, okay, we're getting a little bit of nostalgia hit. Okay. But it's just not enough to make a compelling movie.
No, I mean, and you can't build an entire movie around nostalgia. You can put those pieces in there. Like even National Lampoon, that new vacation movie they did with Ed Helms, they put enough nostalgia in it to make those pieces like fun, but the movie can stand alone without those nostalgia pieces. And I think, and this movie I mean, doesn't stand really well with the nostalgia pieces, but without them, like if the name Sleepaway Camp isn't attached to this and Felicia Rose isn't attached to this, there's nothing here. It's just
This
not.
would be like a garbage movie.
Yeah,
like it's amazing they got Isaac. Was it Isaac Hayes?
Yeah, Isaac Hayes as chef.
Chef. Yeah, there's definitely a South Park thing going on here. I can't remember all the references, but there's definitely some South Park-ness. It's almost more nostalgic for South Park. Or
I guess you can compare Alan to the Alan character to Cartman or something like that. But
yeah, he's trying to be a Cartman. There's the guy, you know how there's the hunter guy with a friend who was in Vietnam who has the voice box.
Oh yeah.
I think they're trying to riff on that. There's some, I can't remember what else there was. There was a couple things.
I mean, but it's so poorly done at this point that it's like it just does not. None of it fucking works.
No, it's just.
I somehow dislike this more after talking about it because it's just exacerbating like all the little pieces of this that are so disjointed and make this like just a. I think that the message I sent you guys, I said, was it a good movie? No. Or was it fun? Also, no. I didn't have fun watching it.
No. I'm gonna take a quick break because I'm gonna get my dog something real quick.
Talk amongst yourselves. There is no sleeping at Sleepaway Camp. So I feel like Garth in the first Wayne's World movie, when Wayne just quits the show in the middle of the show and it comes back to him and he's standing there all weird and all like, hi, welcome back to Wayne's World. So what's all that means is later on, Jason and I are going to lay on top of a car by the airport and have a fight, and then we'll break up. So that's probably happening next. It's really weird trying to do something like this without a host. So don't tell Jason I said this, but props to Jason for being a good host and kind of keeping the show rolling when we intentionally try to drag it off the rails. But also don't tell him that it's intentional. So has anybody heard any good dad jokes lately? Anybody? How's the rapture going? That was supposed to happen this week. I knew I wasn't going to be taken, and I knew it's not real because like the dogs didn't float up to heaven. So I don't think there's anything to worry about the rapture. Although this meteor that apparently is going to hit Mars, that is not going to hit the Earth, thankfully. I was reading an article where they're saying it might be powerful enough to maybe knock Mars slightly out of orbit, and I'm kind of interested to see what that happens to us. If that does anything to the rest of the universe. But if it does, it's been a good run, I guess.
All right, we're going to try this again.
If you have the Earth stop spinning, you wouldn't even realize it. Like you would just splat into the closest thing to you and become one with the wall or whatever's in front of you.
I was going to say, we would, something would happen if the Earth stopped spinning.
Yeah, but you wouldn't notice it. It would just be, you'd be dead, and so quickly in an instant, there'd be no way to realize what was happening.
All right.
Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about that one time. We were having a good time, Jason, while you're away tending to your canine needs.
Who are you talking to? Just the audience?
Yeah, just the audience. It's just us. No, we're just talking to the audience.
All right, fair enough.
It's like that. It's like Ed O'Neill and my second Wayne's World reference. That you didn't hear the first one, but like Ed O'Neill talking to the camera in Wayne's World. Breaking the fourth wall here.
Cool. All right. Anything else we want to say, or just move on to our rating?
I just want to forget that I watched this movie, and then I want to remember enough of it to know not to ever watch it again. But I'd be okay getting that, hour and a half back of my life.
I mean, with the announcement of the new one, at least that is like, maybe that will be the thing that can not redeem this one, but like put a cap on the franchise. Part of me, for some reason, thought that Robert Hiltzik passed away. So I just assumed that this was the last thing we'd ever really get, at least from directly from the source. Um,
I mean, to be fair,
so
he was only 46 when he wrote and directed this, so he wasn't that old.
okay. Yeah, I'm most surprised he never did anything else outside of the series. Again, he's
You
taking
know
another
what?
stab at it.
I'm after this one though. I'm not like and I don't think people who saw this were going to beat down the door to get him to direct and write something. Like I honestly think
No,
if this would have come
I
out,
mean, after the
I
first
think
one.
he's yeah, but I think he's picking the right time for if he wants to do a new one with kind of the horror boom we're in, because I do think that like with every we all tend there's a lot of stuff we all tend to look at through rose colored glasses, and I don't mean Sleepaway Camp being one of those. I think Sleepaway Camp is great, but like you see how they're remaking movies that were never really like all that great in the first, which isn't the worst idea. I do think there is a definitely a market for remaking a movie that was a good idea but with a poor execution. But I do think right now, if you're gonna bring back a franchise, like now's probably the time to do it. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll definitely watch the next one.
Oh yeah, yeah. And again, this is only just now announced, so I mean, like the movie making cycle takes hopefully if they're doing it well, with a good amount of quality, will take a good amount of time for it to actually come out. So, all right, let's move to our episode rating. Mondo, what do you rate this movie?
1.5.
Yeah,
It's just and it gets the half point for the a couple cool effects. That CGI fire though, that explosion, that was fucking horrible. That was
yeah.
very bad. But I'm giving it an extra half point for two things, for Felicia Rose and the cool skinned body at the end. If not, like you take Felicia Rose out of this at the end, and there's nothing redeeming. So yeah, man, this is one of the this ranks up there with one of the worst movies I've watched.
Yeah, I mean, usually you chide me when I don't like a movie, and I bag on it. And you say, "Well, you can't find some fun in it." There's no fun in this movie.
That's the thing. I wanted something, but like, yeah, man, I would like the fucking characters, man. Nails on a chalkboard. It makes it so rough to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll go with you on the 1.5. Things move on a screen. There's a couple gore effects. Okay, sure, whatever. It's
I mean, yeah, you said it wasn't even competently really edited, which made it even more disjointed and a lot of technical issues with it. So yeah, man,
yeah,
it's a tough one, dude. I don't like bagging on movies like this. I really don't, because I try to find something fun in every movie I watch, but at the end of the movie, if it's both a bad movie, and I'm like in a worse mood from having watched it, that's a tough one.
yeah, definitely. All right, let's take a quick break to do a shout out.
Hey there, this is Ira Hayden from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, the Wizard Master, and you are listening to Dads from the Crypt. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Dude, I love Ira.
I love Ira too.
See how big I'm smiling, dude. That's so cool. I had the perfect idea for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 when Freddy kills him. Freddy should have grabbed him, and he should have rolled a d20, and it should have landed at 3, and he'd be like, "Sorry, kid, you need to roll 12 to live," and then killed him.
Yeah,
I bet it'd been a fun kill. But that man, what a cool shirt he had on, the Wishmaster shirt. I love
the
that.
G Master. Yeah.
Um,
What's funny is,
Black,
so yeah, I went to go hang out
Black
with
Phone.
Outcats at HorrorCon LA this weekend, and me and Mando were talking about it, and he mentioned he was looking at the guest list, and he saw Ira. I was like, "Oh, Ira Hayden was there." I'm like, "Oh, that guy's so annoying." I was just fucking with you.
It's
I had to
Black Phone 2. They're saying people are saying it reminds them of Dream Warriors.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, I don't like the trailer very much, and I don't love the first one to begin with, but that
The first
comparison,
one,
like, okay,
no spoilers, but the first one had its moments, has some really genuinely creepy moments and a creepy
yeah,
character, but it went some places that were I think I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5, which is solid.
yeah. I didn't hate it, but yeah,
Interesting enough though, to where I'm down to watch a sequel. I'll put it that way.
Like I said, when it comes on digital, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna run to a theater for it.
Yeah, I respect that.
But yes, I went to that and talked to Ira. And then Kim Myers from Freddy 2 was sitting next to him. She's so lovely. She's so nice.
Also, Hellraiser Bloodlines.
Hellraiser Bloodlines, yeah. I always want to ask her if she's ever met Meryl Streep, because they both young Kim Myers definitely looks like a Meryl Streep.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, she definitely does.
I'm curious if they've ever run into each other. All right, Mando, give us your song of the day.
This is going to be a very I had one picked out when I was going to be on the other week and things didn't work out. But with everything going on right now in the world, and I'm not going to get deep into this, but there is a band, and it's spelled Anaal, but it's pronounced Unal, Nathrock. They're it's Gretchen for like the serpent's tongue. Gretchen? No, it's not. Like what fucking I forgot what tongue it's in. Oh, Gaelic for a serpent's breath is what it means. They're an English band. They kind of got a little notoriety in the early 2000s when they released their demo collection called Total Fucking Necro. And then I think it was 2004 they released a record called Domine Non Est Dignus, which I meant to actually pull up what it meant. But it basically means we are not worthy, or Lord, you're not worthy. And they have a great we're not worthy. It's called Milwaukee actually. But they do but one of my favorite songs off this record is very topical right now for what's happening in the media and whatnot. And it's called Do Not Speak. And all you need to know is that the song starts off with an intro from 1984, the movie, the infamous quote of, "You want a picture of the future? Imagine a boot stamping on the human face forever." And then it goes into just straight savagery. They're a great black metal band from England with a lot of interesting stuff going on. Almost has an industrial kind of sound to it. Very cold sound, but really good production on it too. So I say definitely check them out. Unal Nathrock, spelled Anaal, not anal. Unal Nathrock, off the album Domine Non Est Dignus. The song is Do Not Speak. Check it out, read the lyrics, apply to today's climate, and maybe go have a good little cry in the corner.
Oh boy.
It's just is what it is. Sometimes you need to let it out,
All right. There was, I think it was Fright Fest was this weekend. So there are a bunch of movies that premiered, including, like Mando said, the Black Phone 2. Also, the new Silent Deadly Night was screened and actually got, from what I'm hearing, it's getting some good buzz. So
yeah, it looks pretty neat. I picked up for Jody. There's an estate sale down here, so I went on the auction side. I won an autographed poster of Digging Up the Marrow, but I got for Jody because that's one of Jody's favorite movies, and I got him a Blu-ray signed by the kid and the director.
Corey.
Yeah, I think I paid $4 for. Yeah, no, not the original. Obviously, not the new one.
Oh.
Yeah, it'd be weird if I had a Blu-ray of the new movie that I bought in the estate sale of a movie that just premiered. No, the OG.
Yeah. All right, then we got a bunch of trailers this week. We got a trailer for Anaconda, a kind of remake of the original from the 90s big snake movie, which I kind of love, especially as someone who hates snakes. I love Anaconda. With Jack Black and Paul Rudd as like people who try to make their own version of Anaconda. Did you watch the trailer, Mando?
No, I did not. I just assume it's going to be super wacky, and I'm kind of for that.
It's kind of like Tropic Thunder for horror movies. Which okay, sure.
I'll check it out when it comes on digital.
Yeah, it looks kind of fun actually. I'm all for 90s nostalgia, and and Jack Black's not being too obnoxious.
I like Jack Black.
Did you watch the Minecraft movie?
Dude, okay, so I feel like if I watch a Minecraft movie, I'd understand like a third of the dialogue, if that. But
yeah, no, I understand anything that happened in that movie, but like Jack Black was just like turned up way too high for that movie.
But that movie wasn't made for you or for me. It was made for a bunch of
I
kids
know.
that love Minecraft, and if they loved it, then it worked.
I'm not mad at it, and I'm not
You
mad
sound
at
pretty
my
pissed
kids for
off.
like. What's up?
You sound pretty upset. You're shitting on Jack Black over here for doing his job well, apparently.
I'm just saying that's not my version of Jack Black that I prefer to watch.
I got you.
It's not my flavor of Jack Black, my vintage of Jack Black.
What's your favorite Jack Black role?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I don't even know if I could name one off the top. Actually, I do know which one.
Yeah, I'd have to think. I have to look at his IMDb. It all kind of blends together. What's
the one
yours?
that always pops up off the top of my head is he's actually really good in that Peter Jackson King Kong movie.
Yeah, he was good in that.
He's good in that. I really liked him in of all things, Saving Silverman.
Okay, it's been a while since I've seen that one. I was thinking Grosse Point Blank, only because he's more of the side character. I like him more as a side character, not as the main character.
I've never seen that. Yeah, and same thing as Saving Silverman. He wasn't the main character. He's a Mars Attack.
Who is he in Mars Attacks?
I don't remember. I just looked up his IMDb.
I haven't seen it forever
while we were talking.
Oh, Jumanji. I love the Jumanji.
I've only seen the original with Robin Williams.
Okay, I've seen the first of the new ones, and I really liked it.
He really actually has a pretty crazy filmography of a lot of stuff I didn't know he was in. Like he was in Dead Man Walking. He was in True Romance.
He was in was
Airborne from 1993. What's that?
Was it the Jackal, the thriller, spy thriller from
Bruce
Willis
and Richard Gere? Yeah, man.
He has a really fun bit in that.
He's been in some some iconic movies. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
All right. We also got a trailer for Deathgasm, which I didn't even know was being made. That's cool.
I haven't watched it yet. I have this real love-hate with movies when they kind of riff on underground metal. Mm-hmm. And only because I like the first Deathgasm a lot. So I'm definitely going to watch this one too. But I do hate that in every movie now as a metalhead, he's got to put corpse paint on.
Yeah.
It's like, why do they have to go there? There's a comic book that I was really excited for, and I can't remember the name, but I read the first 2 issues, and it's from a guy who loves metal, but it's all a riff on him making the most evil black metal band of all time, and it's all done tongue in cheek. But at some point, that it goes from the point of parody and tongue in cheek to just now it's just completely just shitting on the topic. And I don't like when a lot of metal movies tend to do that, but Deathgasm is not one of them. I really love the first Deathgasm, so I'll be checking this one
out. We got a movie trailer for a remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and I don't remember I remember the 90s one very vaguely, but what I saw was it's pretty much very carbon copy. So
I saw the original, but back when it came out in the 90s, so I couldn't
exactly. The one that has me really excited, and we've been hearing about this for a while, and we've seen a couple images, was The Bride, because they released a couple images of Christian Bale as Frankenstein, but he looked more like the Joker from David Ayer's Suicide Squad, like tatted up and everything.
I haven't even, in all honesty, that one flew completely under my radar.
Oh, you haven't watched the trailer yet?
Haven't watched the trailer. Have not seen a screenshot for it, so
okay.
I need to get
trailer
on
is
on the wagon.
Fantastic. Here. It's like Bonnie and Clyde with Frankenstein and the Bride.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's really badass. The fact it looks really cool. It looks really good, like almost like comic booky, but almost like Sin City in a way. Not quite as desaturated, but that kind of graphic novel visuals. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Looks really cool.
Nice.
It's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. It was supposed to come out this year, but I think because of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is getting so much hype, they pushed it back.
Then that's smart.
Into each other. But yeah,
that's smart.
And I'm very excited for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. The review it's screened a little bit, and the reviews have been kind of mixed. But I still want to see it for myself and enjoy it.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, I'm in the boat that man can do no wrong. Because I think at the very least, even if it's a little disjointed or whatnot, I think the atmosphere in that is gonna I'm a big fan of style over substance, so I'm totally fine with that.
I need a balance between the two, but if the style is so good, I can overlook it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you have to be really, really, really style.
Lucio Fulci is my favorite director. He's definitely style over substance. So it's
if anyone can do that, it's Del Toro
for sure.
And also, it's like got me goth. Me goth and Del Toro is like match made in heaven. I love it. So,
did you remember when we fantasy booked Frankenstein with the Frankencast gentlemen?
Yeah, what did we do with that one?
I picked Guillermo del Toro as a director before they ever announced this. So I was super stoked. I just picked. I said the monster I'd have be Ron Perlman, but
yeah.
But still, I thought the Frankenstein, just the story, is tailor made for Del Toro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's an easy choice. All right, and that's all I have for trailers. My dog will not chill out.
If you're listening to this right now, if anybody has a Regal Cinemas near them, starting October 1st, they're going to do basically 31 days of horror movies, with each week being a different theme. So starting October 1st, the first week are Slashers Unleashed. You're going to have The Funhouse from 1981, Candyman on the 2nd, on the 3rd, Friday the 13th, Part 3, on the 4th, Nightmare on Elm Street, on the 5th, Scream. On the 6th, The Strangers, if you want to see the good Strangers and not the new shit they keep putting out. And on the 7th of October, I'll be driving across town because, of course, the Regal Cinema 5 minutes from my house is not playing this. But across town, I'll be there to see a new Nightmare. But check out Regal Screams on Screen to see what they're playing throughout the month. Week 2 is Fangs, Fur, and Fear. Week 3 is Unholy Forces, featuring Demon Knight on October 20th. Yep. And then the last
Demon Knight?
I'm definitely going to go see Demon Knight. My only complaint is the last week, the last 3 nights. On 10/29 is The Ring, 10/30 is Rosemary's Baby, and on Halloween night, you can go see Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but I'll be handing out candy, so I'm not going to see it.
Well, I was looking at the schedule. First of all, why are they doing Friday 13th Part 3 of all the movies?
I think someone had mentioned on Reddit that Fathom Events have already done the first 2. Okay. But so I'm actually surprised they're doing New Nightmare. I'm kind of bummed they're doing the first Nightmare on Elm Street because I've seen that in theater twice now. I was hoping they do Dream Warriors.
Yeah. I mean, at least the first one is such a classic. It makes sense, but like Friday 13th Part 3 is. Ugh.
I don't know if they're doing it in 3D. If they do it in 3D, I think it's really cool. Yeah. Some other highlights, though, just from this month: From Dusk Till Dawn, American Werewolf in London, Army of Darkness, Creepshow, Prince of Darkness, Hereditary, Final Destination, The Witch, Event Horizon. I might go see that too.
Yeah, I'm like, that's something. I was looking at the schedule, and yeah, they're doing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. They're showing it, at least at my theater, at 5, 8, and 10:20. I'm like, that 10:20 is tempting.
Mine only showed one at 8:30. If it was 10:20, I'd go see it. But
like, I'm gonna have my kids' Halloween parade in the morning. I might go to the Robert Englund Walk of Fame thing, and then I'm gonna take my kids trick or treat. I don't know if I can just stay awake.
Dude, I would cancel everything to go to the Robert Englund Walk of Fame. I fucking hate living in Vegas sometimes. We don't have anything cool. We get stuff like Universal Horror Unleashed, which is like, if you like drinking overpriced drinks and walking through what I've heard are not great haunted houses, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah. But maybe I'll just like down some Red Bull or something and go see Season of the Witch, because that would be a really cool thing to do on that night.
That's be awesome. I wonder if people are going to be I think I can't remember who said it. It might have been our good friend Tommy that was saying that he wondered if people are going to be complaining at the box office that Michael Myers isn't in the movie.
Yeah, we should start a petition for people to do that. Annoy the people.
CGI Michael Myers back in Halloween. I'm sure. I feel like if John Carpenter saw you trying to get that sign, that petition signed, he might just take a swing at you.
Yeah, probably.
And
He'll find me at the concert when we go.
Yeah.
All right, Mando, what dad advice can we pull out of this apocalyptic dystopian week we've had?
I have I have some good dad advice because the other week I flew home on a Friday from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Well, from Albuquerque, but I was working in Santa Fe, and then was home for 12 hours and flew out to Chicago to see my best friend in the world and his family, and I had what I needed for the weekend, just hanging out with some really great people and not thinking about what's happening in the world around us. And I do think that's very necessary right now. And we're at his son's soccer game, watching his son play soccer, and all these kids are having the best time, right? And it's sometimes it's hard as an adult when you don't want to you don't want to get your kids worried and anything like that. But sometimes it's hard to live in the moment and not be thinking about everything that's going on. But really right now, with everything going on in the world, really find those moments of happiness you have with your family, with your dog, with your friends, and hold on to those and try to live in the moment and try to embrace that. With all the shit going on, it's like when I was a manager working at Apple. As a technician, as leader of I was the lead genius. I fucking hated that job title, but I was the lead technician. And I would tell especially my newer people, I'd say, you're going to help 40 people today, and you're going to send 38 of them home happy. They're going to be like, man, I'm so happy that this person helped me out. They did an awesome job. I said 2 people are going to call you a piece of shit. And when you go home, I don't want you to dwell on those 2 people that said you were a piece of shit, because that's 2 out of 40. I want you to really embrace the fact that you took 38 people and sent them home in a better mood than they walked in. And I think it's really easy to let those little things bring down our entire day, our entire mood, rather than latching on to the little things. And I'm 100% guilty of this, where I can have a great day at work, and then God forbid, if I fucking catch every red light in the way home, I have to kind of try to recenter myself. And I'm not always the best at doing it. I'm not going to say I'm the best at doing it. I'm not going to pretend I am. But I think it's really important to latch onto those moments we get with our family, we get with our friends, and don't feel guilty that you're enjoying these moments when there's all kinds of bad shit happening in the world. And I get that. I know it can be hard to know what's happening like overseas with, the wars overseas, or what's happening at home to these poor people that are being targeted by ICE and stuff. It's easy to feel, it's hard sometimes to not feel guilty when you're enjoying your life and that's happening. But I think it's also important to understand that it's not wrong. Like you're not wrong for wanting to find happiness in a world that is not the most loving place right now, especially for your kids.
Yeah, really well said. I think we all just need to turn off our phones or put away our phones for a little bit. I think there's an ecosystem out there that's generated by catching our interest through outrage. And we get into that and I do this all the time, especially like at night when I'm trying to calm down. I'm like, okay, I want to catch up on the news or this podcast or that podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. And like, it just riles me up even more and I can't sleep. We used to just like listen to music and stuff in the car, and now I'm listening to talk stuff. I'm like, no, I need to really just put music on and just go back to the music I enjoy or something like that.
I limit myself on the news every day now because I still want to know what's going on. I don't feel like, and right. I'm also not going to knock anybody that are living with their heads in the sand, because I understand it. Like I totally do. And we all process things different. But I just I try to just read the headlines, look at anything deep I want to look into, and then just move on with my day. I try not to dwell on it because the reality of it is sometimes it's like, and I'm not saying that like this is the best way to the mentality is I'm one person, and with everything else I've going on in my life, I try to do the little things that I can do to make a difference. Like cancel my Hulu subscription. I'm like, if they're going to support stuff, I'm not going to support them. I love you. I love mixed martial arts. I don't watch UFC. I don't support UFC. I don't buy the pay-per-views anymore. I love pro wrestling. I won't watch WWE and buy a ticket to the show. I look at it like it's very passive things I'm doing, but if more of us even do those little things, you are making somewhat of a difference in a little way. Don't feel like you have to always be out there and be an activist. And to people that are out there and are big activists for what they believe in, fucking A, man, like you guys are my heroes. You really are. Like I have nothing but the utmost admiration and respect. But it is okay to disassociate sometimes and find happiness in your own life.
Yeah, pretty much every time I have my therapist every 2 weeks, and like every time I'm like, "What did you hear about this? You hear about this? You hear about this?" He's like, "No, I don't really pay attention to the news." I'm like, "How can you not?" But
And
like,
I bet he does to an extent, but he doesn't.
He does to an extent, but yeah, he's not like
on it.
I know, but he's like one of the few people that I can just like unload all the things that like are like I see that are festering like in my head. So like I'm like, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? Like, what's happening here? And then I'm like, oh yeah, not everyone is like as engaged, not engaged, but like get into the weeds on certain things as I do, or so it's a good reminder for that. It's a good sanity check.
It's one of my favorite things actually is like when I see some news on Reddit and going through the comments, because I'm a really big fan of gallows humor. And some people have just some really good gallows humor, and it makes you laugh at some of the stuff going on in the world. And we need that, right? We do need that.
Yeah.
And
you need to laugh.
Yeah, you need to laugh, and whatever that means. Like, when I drive, I mainly listen to horror podcasts, wrestling podcasts, or music. I don't actually love listening to music when I'm driving, because let's just be fair. Like, music does not sound as good on a car stereo as it does on my home vinyl stereo. It just doesn't sound as good. And I know there are albums I've not given fair shakes to because I've listened to that shitty through car stereo. And I know digital music's great and all, but it is mastered to be as loud as possible. That's why it usually sounds like shit and sounds better on any kind of physical format. Just saying. But yeah, man, like, find your fucking happiness in life right now. Like, it's like, you know what are you gonna do, right? What are we gonna do except for try to put a smile on our face some days and move forward and try to figure out what's next before the AI overlords just take this shit all down. And tell Siri thank you. You never know. One day it might save your butt.
Well, I think they actually said that like the amount of energy that is spent by like telling Chat GPT like thank you and all that kind of stuff is ginormous.
But Siri's
the
not
processing power of it having to respond every time someone says thank you or something to it.
That's funny. When you say thank you to Siri, though, it gives you a canned response. It's not thinking. No, it's like I don't know if you remember years ago when Siri first came out. You can still find it online. All the little Easter eggs that Siri will say to you if you say certain commands. Yeah, it's like if you tell it to close the pod bay doors, it'll say, "I'm afraid I can't do that."
Yeah.
So it's some fun stuff on there. But yeah, the AI is a whole nother story. We're going down a rabbit hole here. We're talking about have a good time. Have a good time in life right now. Try to find some happiness.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I'm gonna go after we're done here. I'm gonna finish this glass of whiskey, which I really much enjoyed, and then I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. so I can go to the gym. That's my happiness. And then I'm gonna drive to work with a smile on my face. I'll be there before anybody else. I'll get a lot of shit done before anybody else gets there. It's gonna be a great fucking day. I sound very sarcastic when I said that. No, I really mean it. It's going to be a good day.
Good. All right. Well, hopefully we brought a little happiness to everyone listening. We appreciate everyone for tuning in as always.
If you want to be happy, though, do not watch Return to Sleepaway Camp. Just pick a different movie to watch.
No. You made it this far. You've been sufficiently warned not to watch this movie.
Yes.
Okay. Again, we appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate it if you would give us a rating and review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify, a like and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us at Dads from the Crypt Talk on TikTok. And with that, I thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it. Ha 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 ha.